Howdy gang, I'm finally back to my chronology videos. I left off in the year of 1973, so this video is going to finish off 73 and quickly plow through 1974. The first thing I want to say is that in these years 73 to 74, my sisters continued their reading of the Archie titles and the romance books, so you know I had access to those. My friend Larry, the only other comic collector that I knew at the time, was filling me in on the DC books, Superman and Batman in particular, and he was also keeping me hip to the Marvel Bronze Western reprints that became so significant to me many years later. My interests at the time, remained the same through 73, 74. The big titles were Spidey and Captain America, of course. Conan, oh my lord, I had launched into Conan with an intense passion. The Jungle Action books featuring the Panther's Rage storyline that I was just ranting about here a few days ago. And I would occasionally pick up a war book by Kubert, or a horror title, House of Mystery, House of Secrets, or perhaps some of the monster reprints from Marvel. And here's an interesting little note about 1974. I was still buying Hulk occasionally, and I remember buying Hulk 180 off the rack and getting to that last page with the last panel with Wolverine kicking up, and I thought, oh well, he looks pretty good. The next month I bought Hulk 181, read the thing, and was completely underwhelmed. Didn't do anything for me. And that was the last Hulk book that I bought off the rack for a couple of years anyway. The very next one I remember buying was Hulk 197 with the Bernie Wrightson Man-Thing cover, and that's why I bought it, for the Bernie Wrightson Man-Thing cover. But there's just a little irony, to that story, that Wolverine hit the scene and I went, what's next? Also, it was around this time, in 74, I suppose, that my father brought home a bunch of these plastic 3-ring binder inserts, and I began, and he brought them home for me that I could put my books into. I didn't have any comic bags or anything like that at the time, and I could fit about 4 or 5 of these books into one of those three-ring binder insert things that Dad would bring home. So they were greatly appreciated, and they really did go a long way in to protecting my books. Here's a little relic from 1973. This is the SpiderMan Rock Comic album. This is indeed the copy that my parents bought for me. I was obsessed with this thing, and I must have listened to it literally 100 times over the next few years. And it's funny because just recently I listened to it again on YouTube, and I remembered literally every word. I just kind of recited along with the YouTube video. But that is a very, very beloved artifact from the time. Here, wait, let's not dismiss these so quickly. A couple of books from 1974 that made a real impression on me. Captain America 175. This is my off the rack copy. It was this whole Secret Empire storyline with number one, the leader, number one. And this kind of came on the heels of President Nixon resigning his presidency due to the Watergate scandal. I remember watching Nixon resign on television that night. I believe that was in August of '74. Any of you youngsters out there that don't know about the resignation of President Nixon and the Watergate scandal and all that, y'all need to get on your American history. But this book was kind of directly linked to that, and that you had when Captain America finally cornered number one in the Oval Office, and number one took his life, took his own life. That was some pretty amazing stuff for the time. Wow. Really. Wow. Just wow. Wow. Another major book for me in 1974 was Conan 41. And as a buyer, a dedicated buyer of Conan, from 73 to about 1979, this is the issue that haunts me the most. And I will do a dedicated video of it. This is my off-the-rack copy. But the last page, and I'm not going to show it to you here. I will save that for the dedicated video. But this is the single issue that haunts me the most of the entire Conan run that I read in the 70s. Just a couple of more things. In 1974, the Treasury size books hit. This is the off the rack of the Batman that my parents bought for me, and actually features the most monumental thing I ever saw the Batman do. It just remains burned in my brain as the most incredible thing I ever saw the Batman do, and that was him leaping from his burning plane onto the other plane, as illustrated beautifully by Neil Adams. It is a reprint from Detective Comics 404. But this lingers in my mind as the most incredible thing I've ever seen the Batman do. Lastly, this little sucker comes with a story I walked into my comic shop in 1974 and saw this blazing red cover and knew I had to have this thing. This is that exact copy, the off-the-rack copy. This is a very personal, very personal story. But I pleaded with my mother and my father to get it for me. It didn't happen. I sulked all the way home in the car. We got home and I went straight to my room and continued to sulk. And I'm not ashamed to say it now, all these years later, but I cried myself to sleep over the thing. When I woke up, this book was at the bottom of my bed. And I got up and I kind of held it to my chest and I walked out into the living room to where my parents were and just kind of sheepishly said, "Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad." Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. I'm not ashamed at all. But as we get older, these memories become more precious by the day. Alright, that's enough of that. Please forgive this old man and my sentimentality. When we get back, I'm going to go into 1975. Oh, but wait, I'm forgetting myself and all my emotion. The end of 1974, the autumn into the winter of 74, 75, was when I finally took the step to order my first mail order catalogs. And it changed my collecting life. And now things are going to get interesting. So in the next video, I'll begin to recount my first mail order experiences and all that lovely stuff that comes with that. So again, forgive this old man for getting so emotional. I'm going to wrap this up right now, but we'll continue real soon with all that. So until the next time, happy collecting, and I'll talk to you real soon, my friends. Bye-bye.